Narrator shouts, "We are the GBD, a group of dancing girls from several Portuguese-speaking islands, each one unique in their physical characteristics, in the individuality that comes from the region where each body was trained. They respond in mysteries of synchronized movements in a single line, forming this imaginary chain that fuses them by the slave essence and passion to serve God." A merciless storm on the Thassa Sea completely changes the fate of the GBD girls. Amid the chaos of loading and unloading after the tempest, the massive transport crate carrying the dancers is left behind at a remote port in Torvaldsland, the cold, unknown lands of the north of Gore.
Aranya says, Oiminius filhas loliva. Bejos.
Narrator shouts, trapped amid fog, snow, and the cruel wind that cuts right through their delicate silk dance garments. The girls find themselves lost in a world brutally different from the warm southern islands they used to visit on their tours. Amid fish stalls and frozen alleyways, the group sets off on a fun, thrilling, and unexpected journey across the northern lands. Marcus says, "Abrilo Airy." As she tries to find space between arms, legs, silks, and complaints. The box sways, someone steps on her foot for the 5th time, and she sighs dramatically. When they said trip, I pictured cushions, not 7 girls and an elbow in my ribs. She murmurs, drawing laughter in the dark. Esther tries to stretch her legs, which are trapped between the other dancers inside the large wooden box. Moves the body carefully so as not to wrinkle or tear the delicate silk that wears, adorned with valuable jewels and gemstones and golden threads. With a doubtful expression, while rubbing arms, which are shivering from the cold, she asks, "Do you feel this chill that gets more intense with each on?" Narrator shouts, "So it happened. With the sound of locks being opened, the massive fastenings were removed. The lid of the wooden box slowly swung open. Before them stretched a world of white and gray. Thick fog hung in the air, and sharp, biting winds cut through the space. Workers hurried along the dock, carrying loads of goods, while ships stood moored, their hulls sheathed in ice. The 8 dancers' eyes went wide with pure astonishment. By some mistake, they had disembarked in the far northern reaches of Gore. Welcome to Torvaldsland."
Paula reluctantly drags frail body, adorned with silks and jewels, out of the box. The cold wind snakes through the cracks in the wood, causing shivers of terror, as if claws of ice caress satiny skin. Moves its little feet with hesitant steps and runs like a trembling shadow through the mysterious place. Eshai shudder under the icy touch that seeps through the cracks in the box, short, cautious steps drawing small circles in the snow, and restless eyes scan the unfamiliar harbor. Arms reach out to body seeking warmth, while fear and uncertainty accompany each trembling step. Lena shivers within the fine silks, jewels jingling against the cold wood. The trembling fingers and icy hands are whipped by the frigid wind. Takes small, unsteady steps, light feet on the unfamiliar floor, wide eyes exploring the unknown, frightened, searching for the master amidst shadows and mist. Paula emerges from the box like a caged tarn, rehearsing short, impossible flight steps. Embraces own slender body transformed into shelter, trembles at the touch of the icy wind on goosebumped skin. Hesitant gaze wanders in all directions, guided by instinct, cast into the unknown.
Z's eyes widen like full moons, and her legs seem to race against her own heart. Catching sight of a figure in the distance, she dashes across the pier, slipping more than running. "Master, we are here!" she shouts as she disappears into the village, hoping she has spotted her master. Narrator shouts. Lost amid fog, snow, and unfamiliar faces, the girls desperately search for a single familiar figure. Then, in the distance, between narrow alleys and ice-covered warehouses, a well-known silhouette moves across the dock. Like a flock of frightened deer finding their shepherd, the 8 dancers run after him, vanishing into the cold streets of Torvaldsland.
Lola says, asterisk epilate asterisk. Petra says, applause.
Lakin shouts, claps and claps and claps. Coarden shouts, applauds, outstanding. Pink shouts, Hawaii-to Rocket Girls. Zandikin says, damn, applauds thick. Sen atlushos. Naila Santori says, igualan, barra diagonal me aplos. Narrator shouts. The hours dragged slowly by. Snow kept falling over Torvaldsland as the girls made their way along the frozen paths. Some of the silks that once shone brightly on stage have been left behind, caught on fences, tangled in branches, or lost during misadventures best left untold. Hunger had their stomachs growling, and their delicate feet, once accustomed to warm sands, now bore the marks of their long journey across ice and stone. Lakin shouts, I am sure they did not smell. Narrator shouts, that was when destiny offered them a glimmer of hope. In the distance, a large farm appeared, enclosed by dark wooden fences. Its gates stood wide open. The aroma of freshly baked bread, vegetables, and hot stews drifted on the wind, like a divine promise sent by the priest-kings. Without a second thought, the girls rushed through the gate, hoping to find shelter, food, and perhaps someone willing to help them. But the northern lands rarely offer gifts without demanding courage in return. From among the barns, pens, and snow-covered fields emerged tall, powerful figures, the bondmaids of Torvaldsland. Women as strong as the winter itself, accustomed to hard labor, relentless cold, and the most feared men in all of them. Their gazes swept over the delicate southern dancers, clad only in fine silks. The silence that followed was brief, and confrontation seemed inevitable. Z starving and already suspecting that the northern winds were conspiring against her. She climbs over a farm fence in search of food or help. With every step, a piece of her silk garment is left behind, as mud and grime transform the elegant dancer into an increasingly unlikely adventurer.
Paula moves forward and backward between wood and stones, the dark choreography, like Wander's Mist, dragging fragile body through the mysterious place, pale skin taking on the contours of scratches and dirt. Hears strange whispers, fear intensifies, blue eyes freeze fixed in the dim light of the farm. Esh advances hesitantly through the unfamiliar farm, the dance mixing caution and exhaustion as attentive eyes scan fences, barns, and shadows. Arms briefly wrap around own body against the persistent cold, torn silks accompanying trembling movements as apprehension grows with each new discovery in that strange place.
Eloyn walks through her Jarl's plantation alongside another bondmaid when she hears a strange sound. Female voices, unfamiliar laughter and a different scent. In the distance, she spots a group of girls wearing torn silks, puzzled by this group of girls from the south.
Lean as she advances with short, trembling steps, torn silks clinging to her cold, marked body. Breathless, she raises her chin as she faces the bondmaids, their gray eyes provocative. The arms trace cautious gestures in the air as she explores the barn.
Narrator shouts. For a moment, silence reigned over the scene. Suspicious glances crossed like drawn blades. The Southerners saw before them women who were far too strong and rugged. The bondmaids observed those delicate strangers, adorned in silks and moving with graceful poise, and wondered how they could survive even a single night under the icy winds of the north. Pride stirred within both groups. Provocative words were exchanged. Laughter broke out. Challenges were thrown down. Melody notices the strange sounds echoing along the trails and raises head, listening intently until gray eyes spot a group of girls approaching. Hey, you can't stay here, get out. So, we don't want spoiled Southern girls here. Shouts while gesturing to shoo away the small group of girls dressed in Southern style. Eloy, she furrows her brow so deeply that even the crows seem to reconsider their flight path. With a firm gesture, she points toward the lands beyond her Jarl's territory. Get out of here before something worse happens, she grumbles. Z, with a cautious smile, she raises her hands in a gesture of peace while continuing to dance alongside her troop. Easy now. No one needs to lose their temper or their wits today, she says playfully. Perhaps we can learn from one another, the grace of the South and the strength of the North. And her steps seem to agree even before the words have finished leaving her lips. Melody smiles and taps heavy, cold boots on the ground, approaches, and begins to move strong body in a dance among the Southern girls, who look hungry and cold. Raises tanned, arms above head, covered in long, damp, earth-colored strands, and smiles cheerfully while tracing lines on the ground with shod feet. Eloy, a smile spreads across her face, and before she knows it, her feet are already moving to the rhythm set by the strangers. With an amused laugh, the bondmaid gives in to the music and joins the group. Only this once, she seems to say as she dances. Even a northern wind itself seems to be applauding. Narrator shouts, and so, what began as rivalry melted away like snow beneath the spring sun. Teasing turned to laughter. Challenges became shared steps, and before long, bondmaids and girls from the South were dancing side by side. Once again, dance proved to be a language understood by every heart, able to bring together what pride insisted on keeping apart. Pink shouts, so well done, claps loudly. Narrator shouts, with their thoughts and hearts fixed on the Jarl's whereabouts. The girls continued their journey across the northern lands. Though the laughter shared with the bondmaids still warmed their memories, there was a far more pressing concern. Hunger. Their stomachs ached with every step, and finding a piece of bread or a hot meal had become a need they could no longer ignore. Zanakin grins big. Now, that's the cream of the crop there. Lakin shouts, yes, bravo. Sen maravillosas. Naila Santori says, iguala, barra diagonal me wonderful. Coarden shouts, APPLAUDS. Peaches says, greetings, my mistress. Narrator shouts, covered in mud, leaves, and memories of an afternoon filled with adventure. The travelers resumed their journey across the vast farm. The path felt lighter now, carried along by newfound friendships and the distant echo of drums. Ahead, like a vision sent by the gods themselves, a large inn stood with its doors wide open, drifting scents upon the breeze that stirred both dreams and desires. But the joy of dancing could not silence the persistent call of their empty stomachs. Hunger had become a companion harder and harder to ignore. A simple piece of freshly baked bread would have seemed like a treasure fit for kings. A steaming bowl of soup would have been welcomed as a blessing from the priest-kings. With renewed hope, the girls quickened their pace toward the welcoming inn, never imagining what stories awaited them beyond that lit doorway. Her nose catches the scent of Saturna bread even before her eyes spot the kitchen. Starving, she rushes into the tavern's kitchen. Amidst sacks of golden flour and fresh vegetables, she spins around in wonder. Could this be an oasis of food? She laughs out loud as she explores the large northern kitchen.
Lena glides through the kitchen with agile steps, still adorned in luxurious silks, curious hands touching pots and bowls. The warm aroma envelopes the movements, become a light dance as searches for something to eat. Laughs softly with the others, picking up ingredients, not noticing if she's got the right or wrong ones, twirling delicately amidst the growing chaos.
Ayu smiles at Loba, who takes the lead in exploring the kitchen, and follows. Soon, finds a jar of honey and takes it to add to the mixture in the pots of gruel. The bland food now seems like a precious delicacy. The dancer's stomach rumbles, but dances with joy among the utensils, stove, and pots.
Esh approaches the steaming pot with evident relief, nose following the warm aroma as hurried fingers reach for a small nearby container. Believing she has found salt, pours a generous portion of the natural yeast into the gruel, smiling contentedly before returning to the dance steps without realizing the disaster it has just created.
Narrator shouts, but not every adventure stems from great danger. Sometimes, all it takes is a moment of distraction. While laughter echoed through the inn, one of the girls, more curious than careful, mixed up the ingredients and poured something wrong into the cauldron. Salt, baking powder, some kitchen curse. The result? The porridge came alive. It bubbled, rose up, and exploded in every direction. They stood frozen for a moment, torn between bursting into laughter and running away before the inn's owners discovered the mess. Lakin shouts, "Sounds like my cooking." Esther looks at the pot on the wood-burning stove and is startled by the amount of food and feels bare feet slip among the clumps of porridge scattered on the floor. The boil remains high and uncontrolled, causing the gruel to overflow from the pot and spill onto the floor. The substance spreads across the wooden floor, once clean and shiny, dances awkwardly between jolts and slips.
Paula stirs the flavorful gruel quickly with the wooden spoon in her small hand and playfully wiggles hips. The explosion of aroma fills the air, transforming into art clinging to seductive body. Drags feet on the ground, tracing footprints of flavor amidst the chaos and fun.
Z with her feet slipping on the sticky trail of the gruel. She dashes through the kitchen in an escape that looks more like an awkward dance. Her hair now holds nearly as much porridge as the pot did before. Full-bellied and covered from head to toe, she laughs nonstop as she tries to get away from the enormous mess. Narrator shouts, and so they set off once more, covered in gruel from head to toe, leaving behind a kitchen in ruins and a tale that would surely be told for years to come at that end. Their laughter echoed across the fields like the joyful song of free birds. For the first time since getting lost, sadness felt far away. Their bellies were warm, their feet had found the rhythm of the road once more, and for a few precious heartbeats, the world felt like a kind place again. Lakin shouts, "It's okay. It can be cleaned, I am sure." Zandikin says, Beams in praise chuckle. Lakin shouts, "Yeah, those fabulous ladies." Narrator shouts, "Yet longing is a silent companion. Sometimes it hides right in the midst of laughter." In their hearts lingered the question none of them could answer. Where was the master who guided them? Was he searching for them? Was he safe? For a moment, uncertainty tried to cast its shadow over their journey. But these girls were dancers. They were GBD, and a GBD never lets fear lead her steps. Their strength is born of hope. Their courage springs from loyalty, and their soul blossoms through dance. Jason says, "Brava. Sem voltem para deixar tudo limpo." Naelis and Tori says, "Equals / come back to me to make everything clean." Narrator shouts. Then they lifted their faces toward the horizon and pressed onward, not as lost girls, but as bearers of something rare and precious. Wherever their feet touched the ground, smiles blossomed. Wherever their arms rose up, beauty came alive. Wherever their bodies danced, sorrow found no room to take hold. They were the GBD, and as long as their hearts beat in time with the drums, no storm could ever be strong enough to stop them. And so, they stepped into the long hall, certain they would bring joy and delight to all. Hail, Torvaldsland.
Georgia claps her hands. That was fun.
Zeke brushes away the last of her tears with a smile and lifts her chin toward the great long hall. Amidst the tables and laughter, her hips sway with an infectious rhythm. After all, she is a GBD dancer. In her heart remains the hope of one day being reunited with her master. Until then, she will continue to spread beauty and joy.
Paula stirs the flavorful gruel quickly with the wooden spoon in her small hand and playfully wiggles hips. The explosion of aroma fills the air, transforming into art clinging to seductive body. Drags feet on the ground, tracing footprints of flavor amidst the chaos and fun. Paula enters the long hall along with the other Kajiri and approaches the crackling fireplace. Tosses long hair back and quickly warms naked body with its sinuous curves. The cold gives way to the frenetic rhythm of seductive hips around the Jarls, and desire awakens the joy of the celebration.
A wide, exuberant smile and winks are sent towards the Jarl's present. Raises arms, velvety belly trembles, and hip spins. Displays best form, with sophisticated and elegant dance steps that highlight sensuality and instinct to completely please the desires of those strong men. All the grace and skill of a GBD dancer in practice to seduce. Esther dances on the table on the tips of delicate feet to the delight of the free ones of the north, shaking long hair within a crimson and fragrant cloud. Enslaved belly undulates warm, like the currents of a stream of Torval. Narrator shouts. After days of searching, traveling over frozen roads, and endless worry, the Jarl finally heard what he could never mistake, the laughter of dancers. Following the sound to the festive long hall, he found his troop gathered and safe. With his heart overflowing with relief, he opened his arms and declared to the entire hall, "At last, I have found you all." Ayumu's arms like the waves of a Thassa, twists wrist, index finger and thumb come together, and shows palm facing upwards to the Jarl. Gaze sparkles like jade, promise unparalleled pleasures, and at the same time, happy to be in that place and moment. Twirls happily between tables and with the other girls, grateful for the opportunity to serve.
Lena raises the naked body with pride, lets the jewels dance on the skin warmed by the fire of Long Hall and the longing gazes of the Jarls. The movements gain strength and surrender, celebrates life in every gesture. The cold no longer exists, only pleasure. Dances with excellence, honoring the name of the GBD.
Esther displays a radiant smile, belly slaved to shake incandescent like a bonfire. As sways the wide, the ample hips, the bare feet glide across the dark, polished wooden table. Shake red hair, already accustomed to the cold wind that blows through the planks of the longhouse, stirs to the rhythm. A sigh of happiness escapes full. Red lips demonstrate conviction as a dancer of the Gorean Brazil dance, ready to spread her dance throughout Gore.
Petra says, "Applause."
Coarden shouts, "Delicious."
Petra says, "Applause." Lola says, "Asterisk épelé asterisk."
Narrator shouts, "With great joy, we celebrate this night alongside all of you. We hope that the performance by our GBD girls has brought smiles, emotion, and a little bit of the magic of dance to your hearts. May the winds be favorable, and may the halls always be filled with friendship, music, and wonderful stories."
Petra says, "Applause." Lola says, "Asterisk épelé asterisk."
Please show your thanks to the Gorean Brazil dancers. Donate to their cause. It takes time and money to make these performances for us. Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate it. Give them a healthy round of applause. Y'all were beautiful.
Pink shouts, "Great set and dance." Clapping loudly.
Muse shouts rar.
Xanakin shouts, slave overboard, in the amber hole. Cheers big.
Petra shouts, "Wonderful."
Z with steps full of warmth and joy. She spins one last time before the audience, letting the music guide her farewell. A smile lights up her face as she waves affectionately. "Thank you for sharing this night with us. See you at the next The Thing Fair." She blows kisses to everyone on the land. Narrator shouts, "Long life to Torvaldsland. Hail the Thing. We shall meet again soon. Until then, please accept our affection and a kiss to the heart of each and every one of you." Esther raises hands to her flushed lips and blows emotional kisses, then lets out a soft voice that transforms into a cry of joy. "Hail Torvaldsland! Hail the Thing!" Melody waves Brunette's hands above the head and moves body in time with the applause, shouting loudly, "Long live everyone in Torvaldsland! Prosperity to the great fair, the Thing!" Felipe shouts, "Uru." Felipem says, "Who?" Sem vocês são perfeitas. Nayla Centauri says, equals in. Slash me, you are perfect.
Lena smiles happily and thanks everyone for coming to watch and support the GBD show at the Thing Fair.
Felipe chute, bota pra quebrar en cas. Jezen shouts, yes. I love the dancing girls. Just awesome. Hail to the girls. Felipemk says, put to break ANS laughing out loud.
Paula raises 8 arms and waves enthusiastically from side to side in farewell, smiles radiantly at the crowd, heart pounding with longing and yearning to be back at the next The Thing event.
Sem manda grande beijo para Loba, Esther e Melody. Nayla Centauri says, equal / sends me a big kiss to Loba, Esther and Melody. Felipe shouts, Uru Brasil lindas. Felipemk says, Huru, o Brasil beautiful. IU opens arms in a fluid and elegant movement, then closes them over chest, as if embraces herself in a symbolic gesture of love and affection. Celebrates the moment with the other girls and deeply thanks them for the opportunity to dance at the Thing Fair. Callie hopes to see everyone again next year. Odin's blessings.
Petra says, applause.